American once said that the most important part in the art of the deal is closing the deal. If you want to hear how we did that, stick around. Here we go. Okay, now we're going. Hello friends, this is Captain Dave and Ms Brooke with Simple Plan Trucking. Welcome back to the channel. We are here today in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and we have accepted a load out to California. Wasn't really where we wanted to go, but we want to tell you a story today about our process with working through the load that we're on. Lots of frustration at first, lots of miscommunication along the way, and but I think we're in a better place now, and as it ends up, we're in a decent load going to California, and they've even backed us up on a better load coming from California back to North Carolina, and then getting us home to Florida for our home time. So we delivered yesterday afternoon in a little town north of Boston, and for any of you that have been doing this for a while, you know, you realize that when you drop a delivery, you make a delivery on a Friday afternoon, you're already starting to wonder, you know, I want to get this in so that my fleet manager can help me to get a good load to get me through the weekend. We've always had the fleet managers, the folks that cover the desk on the weekend are all very nice, and all very nice at night too. We like them all, but they cover a much larger group of drivers. Sometimes these people will cover 3 fleets, and they are stretched pretty thin. And our experience is that we just don't get the same consideration and nights and weekends that we do from our fleet manager during the week. May not be true, and if it's unfair to say that for anyone that may be listening, I do apologize. That's just been our experience. So of course we delivered yesterday afternoon, and I talked with my fleet manager and said, hey, listen, you know, it's Friday and we need a load that carries us through the weekend, but we don't really want to go, you know, out west because we start home time next Friday, and we want to be on the East Coast for that. He really didn't have much, but he did have a load that was going to California, Fontana, California. Would have been a decent load, but we didn't want to get all the way out there and then be stuck in California and not make it back for home time. So we agreed to bring the load to the Pittston yard and drop it, and he was going to talk to the sales, the weekend sales folks, and let them know that what we were looking for, we wanted to stay, you know, in the eastern half of the U.S. Until next Friday when we started home time. Well, you know, we got in here, we dropped this trailer off. We had some work done on our truck late last night. We got done about midnight with the work.
Just basic maintenance.
Basic maintenance, just some few things, filters and all that needed to be changed. And so then I guess this morning we got the first message from Weekend Dispatch suggesting that we take a load out to Ogden, Utah. And first of all, it was a solo load. There was a ton of time on it. It was going further than we wanted to go, and the pay was poor. The pay was very, very, very bad. It was the revenue was not a load that we were interested in. So I didn't hesitate for all three of those reasons. I quickly turned down that load and communicated to Weekend Sales what I had discussed with our dispatcher, our fleet manager, and what we were looking for. Well, shortly afterwards, we get another load proposed, this one going to California. It was a produce load, and again, we didn't want to go to California, and the rate, even for a load going to California, was pretty low. So we turned that one down.
How many times have we been to California this time out?
Yeah, I need to mention that we've just run 2 back-to-back loads to California back, and we're really kind of burnt out on going to California. It's not really where we like to go. We prefer to stay, you know, in the eastern U.S. We prefer to stay in that central Midwest area, and you know.
I don't not mind it, because I mean, you get good loads in and out of there, decent loads.
Of California?
Yeah.
You get loads coming out of there. You know, you get for the miles you drive to California for a team. the only reason you go to California is the freight to come back, not the ones going in. But when you average those two things together, it's okay to go to California. We don't mind when the weather's nice. You know, in the wintertime, you're always rolling the dice going to California, especially running across on 80. So we had done that twice in a row. We paid our dues. We got shut down for 3 days already. Second time across, we made it across without any incident. But yeah, we kind of knew that we were pushing our luck to take yet another trip out west and make it home in time, and the money wasn't going to be great. So we turned the second load down. Then we got proposed a Hershey load that was going to Ogden, Utah. And there was another one first that was going to, the first one was going to Illinois, which would have been great for us. It was going to the Chicago area in Illinois, but we didn't think it was great because there was so much time on the load. It was a solo load yet again. Now, I know some of you already are saying, you know, you can drop Hershey loads whenever you want. And that's one of my frustrations, and something I really think that the powers that be should fix. It should clearly say when you get a proposed load, if a receiver, if you know, when you make your delivery, if that customer will allow you to deliver early. Sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't. So we went through lots of frustration back and forth, talking to weekend dispatch, with a new dispatcher, by the way, and who was covering probably lots and lots of trucks and fleets out there. God bless her. She was covered up, and it was clear that she was covered up. But I could tell that what I was communicating to her was somehow not getting to sales the way that I wanted it to. And because the messages that were coming back from sales through dispatch to me was like, what? The proposed loads were completely different than what we had asked for. You know, if they couldn't do it, then they should have said, oh, we don't have anything like that. This is all we have. You can take it or you can wait. And I would have said, okay, we'll wait, because I'm not going to take a load for it makes no sense for us to drive our truck where after our expenses and even after everything, even after we pay taxes, we have no money in our pocket or little money in our pocket for that effort. It's smarter just to sit and wait, and a better load will come along. We don't often do that, but at times we've had to do that. And when we have done it, strangely enough, a better load is offered in a pretty decent amount of time. So I don't like to play that game, but sometimes I feel like you have to. So anyway, we were just at our wits' end, and we were just told dispatch, okay, we've had 3 or 4 loads offered. None of them are any good for a bunch of different reasons. We're just going to sit here in Pittston until you know, a better load comes along. And the dispatcher said, well, you may be waiting until tomorrow. I said, fine, we'll wait.
We're waiting for something that kept us closer to the East Coast.
We'll wait for something that kept us closer to home, something that paid a little better,
because everything was getting us to the West Coast by the end of the week, and we wanted to go home by the end of the week.
Yeah. And there was just way too much time before we could deliver. I mean, we're a team. We need to make team money. I've already said that, but I can't stress how important that is. So we were all set. We were just going to, okay, we're going to stay here overnight. We're going to wait, and hopefully something better will come in tomorrow. Well, we were eating breakfast in the terminal at Pittston, and I said, let's just walk down here. And we were going to try to go out to see if driver lineup was open. We were pretty sure in Pittston that it wasn't open on the weekend. But we walked all the way down to the end of the building where the offices are, and there were a couple guys sitting in there, and we just asked them, you know, if they knew if driver lineup was open today. And they're like, sure, what can we do to help you? Very nice guys. Super nice guys. And we had no idea, but they are part of the sales team at Prime in Pittston, and they happened to be working today. And we told them what we wanted, and immediately they knew who we were, because this is who dispatch in Springfield was talking to help get us a load, and he knew it.
Following us all morning.
They'd been following us all morning, and they were as frustrated as we were because the message that they were getting was they don't want to run. We don't want to run. And that completely was not true. What we wanted was a reasonable load for a team. And when I expressed that, we really can't take those loads to those Hershey loads because, they got way too much time on them. We're going to be sitting to deliver. And he goes, oh no, Hershey loads, they will, that's why we like giving them to teams, because it keeps your wheels turning, and, you can deliver them as soon as you get there. They'll take them as soon as you get there. And that completely changed the dynamic, the equation for us. I said, had I known that, had that been, communicated to me, we would have taken that load a long time ago, and this frustration with everyone would have been over with. He knew where I was coming from. I knew where he was coming from. And so he said, well, that load going to Chicago that you wanted, is already taken. But I do have another one. Well, at the time, he said, I don't have anything right now, but if something comes open, I'll get in touch with you. I said, great. So Brooke and I left. We got back in the truck. We ran over to Walmart to get some groceries. And while we were there, another load came through out to Ogden. Another Hershey load going to Ogden this time. Well, still it was further than we wanted to go. The pay was meh. But we knew that we could get it there quickly and hopefully get something out of there. The big concern, though, was we were going to be in Utah, which is not a good reload area. And we figured we've been there before, and we almost always have to deadhead somewhere in California or Arizona down to Yuma to pick up a load and bring it back east. Didn't want to do that. So, I chewed on it for a while, and I told Brooke, you know what? I'm going to go back and talk to that guy one more time. I want to find out if this load, that he's offered to us, if we had, kept our original load, if it could have been dropped in California. And she said, are you sure you want to do that? She said, we've been in there, we've taken up a lot of their time already. I said, listen, I'm not going to take up anybody's time. I'm going to be as nice as I can be. Don't want to be rude, but their job is to work with us and this and that. And she said, okay, so let's go. Went back in again. The guy was nice as could be. We were probably sitting there with him.
He actually seemed glad to see us.
He was a nice guy. He enjoyed talking with us. We enjoyed talking with him. I'll bet we were there for 45 minutes sitting at his desk. And he said, no, that load, you have to, it's going to have to be, you have to wait for the delivery times, not on the Ogden load, but he said, so I do have one going to a 2-stop going out to California that'll have to be done, at delivery time. You can't deliver early, but the pay is better, and it's going to set you up in a good location for a reload, back east. So I said, we'll take it. I feel like we had already taken enough of their time. They had been more than gracious to work with us back and forth on this. But we took that load, so we're going. We're leaving.
Sacrificed going home on the time that we wanted to.
Yes,
but we're making. It was worth it because in the long run, we're ending up with a load that was reasonable money and time.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, we're making more money. Going further, but we're making more money per mile. I know we don't like to talk about per mile, but I think it's very important to know how much you make a mile.
So from my perspective, I'm getting home later than I would like to, but at least it's worth it because I'm making more money than I was going to get with my original first load that was offered.
Yes.
And that happened because
because I was persistent, and I was like, that doesn't work for us. And again, I don't like to be that way, and I'm not that way unless I have to be.
Not even persistent. You took the time and the energy to go back and negotiate with sales,
right,
and negotiate. Well, you thought it was going to be driver lineup, but you took the time to go back and negotiate and talk to people and make sure that the messages weren't getting crossed and whatnot.
Right. So we turned we turned lemons into lemonade. And, I'll tell you this, not only did we get a better load going into California, but this guy went over and above and called me back about an hour later. And he said, hey, I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure again that you knew that you have to deliver these 2 loads you're not going to be able to take them in early, because there was lots of conversation back and forth, and he just wanted to make sure that we understood that we had to do that. I said, yeah, I got that. I understood that. We're going to push our home time back. And he said, well, do you want us to put in your home time now in a counter? I said, I'll just talk with our fleet manager on Monday. We'll take care of that. Thank you, but we don't need to do that right now. And he goes, well, you can, because here's what I'm planning to backload you. I'm planning to set you up on your load coming out of California back to the East Coast. Completely did not have to do that. He went over and above. He found us a great load coming back from California to North Carolina. Revenue of $6,500. We can't complain about that at all. And so our home time is going to be later. That's okay. We had nothing pressing that we had to be home on a specific date. But
it was good that we were flexible.
You have to be flexible. That's part of the message.
Flexible with this job.
Yeah, and you guys know that instinctively. You know that. You've learned it from being out here, but you can't always have it your way, exactly the way that you want it. It just doesn't work like that. But if you are polite, if you show respect, if you approach these people in a professional manner and in a positive, approach them in a positive way, 9 times out of 10, they are going to try to work with you, and they are going to meet you halfway, I guess is what I'll say. So, too many times I hear drivers that are just so frustrated with the loads that they're getting or the revenue that they're getting. And sometimes you have to take those loads because it's all there is, or, you want to be in a certain place, or you're trying to get set up to be in a good place for the next load. But you also have to know when to turn those loads down. I've met drivers, or I've talked to drivers that say, we don't turn anything down. We drive everything that's sent our way. And that is one approach. I guess from that standpoint, if you're never a problem or you're never a thorn in your side to your fleet manager, that you're considered a good driver. But are you successful as a business person as you can be? Are you making as much revenue as you can? Because it's all about negotiation, and it's about the art of the deal. The art of the deal is closing the deal. How do you close the deal? It's through respect. It's through having a positive attitude. It's through talking to the person that you need to get the point across that you need to. Don't quit. Don't back away. Don't say, that's the best we're going to do. If we had stopped with the first load, I'd have been unhappy the whole way. I would have been grumbling to Brooke all the way out to the 90 saying, this was not a good load. We got way too much time on this load. We're not making the revenue that we need to make. And I would have been unhappy. And it's important that I'm happy.
But there's other times that you say, okay, we're going to sacrifice and take low money on this one, but it's getting us to where we want to be quickly.
Absolutely.
And so, again, and then the benefit is then you pick up a load where you're making the money that you want to make.
Right. If it's getting us back to a good place, we'll take some less money. And I'll say, absolutely, we'll go to that area, because I know we're going to come out with a high val load, or a FedEx load, or something that's, or, produce load coming out of Florida where we're just making, or a meat load where we're making great money. But if you're being asked to go somewhere that the revenue is low, and it's an area that's a bad reload location where you're going to have to deadhead, and oh, by the way, you're a team, and you're given a load that you can't deliver for twice as long as it would take the team to get there, that's a hard no. And it needs to be a hard no. But don't be a jerk about it. Be positive about it. Talk through it with your fleet manager. I get that sometimes that communication between fleet manager and sales and then back to us, there's a lot that's lost in translation. I get that, but that's the situation. That's the program or the process that we have to deal with here at Prime. We just lucked out today and happened to walk back there and caught some guys in sales and kind of...
well, you say lucked out, but you took some initiative today.
Right.
To say, you know what, maybe I can negotiate something better. Maybe the message isn't getting across. Maybe there's some miscommunication here.
There was clearly some miscommunication, but I had no idea that was sales back there.
Right, but that's what I mean. You had no idea there was miscommunication, so it was worth us taking the time and the energy and the initiative to go back there and say, you know what, let's just go talk to them face to face.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot today.
We did, and hopefully this hasn't been too much for you. Yeah, we made a new friend. We talked a lot about a lot of things, and it's always good to know people in sales. I say that all the time. They don't usually deal with drivers, but if you develop some kind of a relationship, and he even told us, he goes, I don't take calls from drivers, but he said if it's an emergency and you're in Pittston, or if you're running a load through the Northeast, call me. He goes, I can help you work through this.
But I bet you if he sees our name come up again, he sees that there's some struggling going on there, he's going to know that we're drivers that really want to drive. We're not trying not to drive, and we're not difficult to work with, because he'll remember us because we had some one-on-one time with him.
You're right. All in all, it was a great day. It was frustrating at times. It's getting dark here and we're losing light, but my bride is making us some great food back there.
Making a Thai crunch salad.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know about this health food.
You wanted healthy.
I know. I wanted to taste good. Though.
We signed up.
We did.
For the Driver's Health and Fitness Fit in 15, but it doesn't start till March.
Doesn't start till March, but we're going to get ready for it.
And what else did we get today?
Oh, we bought a scale. Well, I think it's important to be able to weigh yourself. So we went to the company store here in Pittston. Yeah, you need to weigh in. And
part of the sign up.
Part of the sign up. And Brooks doesn't really want to share her weight, but we'll do it. But that's really all we have for now. I hope that this has been meaningful to you. If you guys are experienced drivers, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. Please comment and let me know. You agree with what I'm saying, or if you disagree. But for new drivers, or really anybody, it's all about how you talk to people, and it's all about relationships and showing respect and having patience when things aren't going the way that you think they ought to, or you're getting the sense that somebody's not communicating the message the way that you did, and that certainly happened today. So that's it for now. Please like the video. We'd ask you to click that button. Also ring the bell so that you'll be alerted when new content is available. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we'd ask you to do that. Listen, if you know someone in trucking, someone that may be interested in trucking, even specifically someone who may be interested in teaming, husbands and wives, or brothers and sisters, or brothers and brothers, whatever, young people, old people, we don't care. We want to talk to them because we feel like our experience is unique to those that team, and even more unique to married couples. So share that with people that may be interested in trucking as a career. We'd like to talk to them. That's all for now. This is Captain Dave and Ms. Brooke with Simple Plan Trucking. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll be talking to you again real soon.